Alright guys, so here we will be doing the video explanation of your quiz Squint Part 2. So if you look at the questions, number 1 is the right esotropia is evident with. So if you are having a right convergent squint, right means muscle should be of the right side only, and eso means it will be convergent squint, right? So the answer to this question will be B. Right lateral rectus will cause the right convergent squint. Number 2, we have uncrossed diplopia. Now, uncrossed diplopia is by which one? It is seen in all except. Uncrossed means you should have the convergent squint, right? So, all of the following will give you convergent squint except for the medial rectus, because medial rectus is going to give you the exotropia. So, answer to this question will be A. Coming to the question number 3, head posture in the right lateral rectus palsy. So, in cases of the lateral rectus, we will have the ipsilateral head tilt. It is ipsilateral in cases of lateral rectus, and in the cases of obliques, it will be opposite sides. So, if it is right lateral rectus, it will be head tilt towards the right side only. It will be head tilt. It is not the head turn, it is the head tilt towards the right side. So, answer will be B. Usually, you have to remember one thing. When you have got the chin elevation, this is for the vertical muscles. Usually with the vertical muscles, extraocular muscles, you will have chin elevation, and it is actually the face turn. Face turn is taking place by the horizontal muscles, and the head tilt is actually usually for the obliques. But because of the isolated nerve palsy, lateral rectus is also going to give you the head tilt. Coming to the next one, left-sided sixth nerve palsy. Sixth nerve palsy means left lateral rectus palsy. So, left lateral rectus palsy is going to affect what? Number 1, you will have the accommodation paresis of the left eye. You will have ptosis. No, ptosis occurs in the third nerve palsy. Accommodation paresis will by the medial rectus, adduction weakness again by the medial rectus. So this will cause the diplopia in the left case, because diplopia is always maximum when the patient looks in the direction of action of paralyzed muscle. Next question, a child is presenting with both eyes in the adducted position like this. Okay? Now to best determine if this is the result of bilateral rectus palsy, you could try each of the following except. The answer is pretty clear here. It is actually D, because even if you do not know the first 3 options, you know that the forced duction test is actually used to differentiate between the paralytic and the restrictive. Paralytic and the restrictive squint. It is used to differentiate between the paralytic and the restrictive squint. So you can use the doll's eye movements, you can use the saccadic eye movements, which we are using in the optokinetic nystagmus drum, that we are also using to take the visual acuity in cases of infants less than 1 year of age. Patching of one eye, that will also help. But what is not going to help you is the forced duction test. Next question, we have got the final common pathway for horizontal gaze. For horizontal gaze, it is actually the 6th nerve nucleus, at which we have the parapontine reticular formation. Then we have got the left-sided lateral gaze is affected in the lesion of. So it is actually controlled by the other side frontal field. So what will be your answer actually? It should be the right frontal lobe. If you look at this type of a question, I would like to show you something. See, this is actually there. So if you see the lobes which are affecting, on one side we have got the frontal lobe, on another side we have got the occipital cortex. So if you look here, the occipital cortex is actually responsible for your slow and voluntary movements, while the frontal cortex is involved in the rapid as well as the voluntary movement. So we have got both the controls, horizontal control as well as vertical control, and then it is going to the superior colic colliculus. From the superior colliculus, it is going to the brainstem, and then we have got the centers for the gaze. Horizontal ke liye, we have got the PPRF, which is controlling at the level of 6 nerve nucleus. Vertical ke liye, we have got the rostral, interstitial, medial, longitudinal fasciculus, right? Now, if you see here, which is the one which is involving? So, we have got two cortex. One is your frontal cortex also, another is your occipital cortex also, and then they are working at the level of the extraocular muscles, nerve nuclei. Now, if you look at this question, they are asking you the left-sided lateral gaze. So, lateral gaze is affected from the lobe of the other side. Therefore, the answer to the question will be your right frontal lobe. All right. Coming to the next question, a patient is presenting with the diplopia with the limitation of adduction in the left eye and abducting saccade in the right eye. Convergence is preserved here. So, what is the most likely etiology? This is a direct internuclear ophthalmoplegia. Whenever you have internuclear ophthalmoplegia, you will have the MLF lesion, and whenever we have the MLF lesion, we will have the ipsilateral adduction deficit, and we will have the contralateral abduction nystagmus. Contralateral abduction nystagmus. So, they have given you adduction in the left eye, therefore, it will be left MLF lesion, or we can say left INO, and contralateral abduction nystagmus we will have. 1.5 syndrome. 1.5 syndrome is actually due to the lesion of both. So, answer to this question will be C. When we are having just one thing, like for if we have PPRF, it will be the lesion of the horizontal gaze only. If I am having the lesion of MLF, then we will have internuclear ophthalmoplegia. So, when I have the combined lesion, they will give you 1.5 syndrome. Then I have increased left internuclear ophthalmoplegia is seen as. So, if I have left INO, I will have the ipsilateral adduction deficit. Ipsilateral adduction deficit. So, there will be impaired adduction of the left eye, and we will have contralateral abduction nystagmus. Contralateral abduction nystagmus. So, it will be nystagmus of the right eye. Therefore, answer to this question will be D. So, these are all the questions of the squint. I hope you have understood, and if in cases of any query, you can always message me on the Telegram group. Now, one thing, at times I have to close the group. I don't have any problem with the people actually doing the academic doubts, but the problem is that sometimes the other people are spamming the group. That's why I have to close the groups at some times, but you can always directly message me at those times. Thank you for showing your patience as well as bearing with me in that time. Otherwise, we will have a good discussion on that group. Keep on studying. Happy ophthalmology.